All right, we're going to get going here. It's 4:01. Thank you for joining this evening, everybody. My name is Dillon Sheedy. I'm the registered professional forester for the Truckee Fire Protection District. And joining me today are Eric and Maria Marsh. While we work through the presentation, feel free to put any questions you have in the chat, and Eric will try to respond live, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation here today. This is a community info meeting for the Central Truckee WUI Phase 2 Forest Management Project. This is our highest priority project for Truckee Fire this year that will begin implementation soon. The project is funded by Measure T and in partnership as well with some funding from the Tahoe Forest Hospital District, the town of Truckee, and the Truckee Donner PUD. Real quick, before we get into it, just to reiterate that the reality that we face is California is the land of fire. We do live in wildfire country, and it is a natural part of our ecosystem. And today's forest management, we are trying to do our best to get our forests in a healthier condition, to be more in line with historic conditions and be able to respond appropriately to wildfire. You often hear us say it is not a matter of if, it is when. And we cannot always rely on emergency response alone to put these fires out. It's very important in today's climate to be proactive and reduce risk before the fire occurs. And this is what this project is all about. How did we get here? If you've met me, you've gotten the full spiel before, but when you look out on the landscape in Truckee in the Tahoe area and you see a even-aged forest and a blanket of trees and shrubs across the landscape, it's important to remember that that is not how our forests naturally looked before pre-European settlement. And so 19th century clear cutting and over a century of fire suppression really has dramatically altered our natural character of Sierra Nevada forests. And what was once a mosaic of large open trees with grassy clearings is now kind of a wall of competing trees and shrubs. And while it might look pretty from a landscape view, there are many hazards that need to be addressed for our forests to withstand any type of disturbance. A lot of our trees are stressed and weakened and diseased. We have reduced biodiversity with the density of trees and the lack of sun reaching the ground. And the result of this overgrowth is a contiguous, continuity of horizontal and vertical fuels that allows fire to spread from the ground into the canopy and typically results in uncharacteristically high severity wildfires. So this is that change in structure that I'm talking about. The picture on the left is a good demonstration of how we understand our forests in the Sierra Nevada, especially the east side pine stands, used to look. Large, well-spaced trees, minimal understory fuels, adapted to high frequency, low severity wildfire. As a result of some of our management choices, we are now kind of converting to what you see on the right, which is a lot more shade tolerant trees and firs that are occupying the understory and creating that vertical and horizontal connectivity that results in high severity wildfire. I've been working on this project for a while, and I've been pulling a lot of historical photos from the Historical Society. And this photo is looking at the hillside that we're proposing to do forest management on. This really was ground zero, this hillside behind Truckee in the 1880s, earlier 1860s even, when we were building out Truckee. This is what we did. We basically clear cut every single tree that we could and just kept going. You can see some of the old maybe historical forest structure and how it used to look, right? This is the Trout Creek drainage coming into Truckee, and you can see on the hillside behind some large trees that are very well spaced and open grown. And then just behind Truckee. This is a result of some of our past forest management histories and our clear-cut logging that occurred in the 19th century. Here's a few years later, 1915, you're seeing a monocrop or a even-aged stand coming back post clear cutting. And so all those little trees that you're seeing on the hillside, this is the hillside. If you can see you can't see my cursor, that we are proposing to treat with the Central Truckee WUI Phase 2 project. So it's been growing for a while now. Couldn't quite date this picture. It's obviously before Interstate 80 was built, but you're seeing this even aged stand coming back and not being managed. And if you compare that to the picture before where we had open grown trees, this looks a lot different. And so the goal with a lot of these projects is to restore our forests back to that natural condition by reducing density and reducing fuels. This is how our forests look today on the top left picture. This is a lot of our forest structure where we have some mature trees, and then we have this understory of shade-tolerant trees that are fully connected vertically and horizontally. And when this burns, this overabundance of vegetation becomes that fuel for that fire to burn very hot. And what's left after this type of scenario is almost nothing. Firefighters love triangles, and so what can we do about this problem? And I just wanted to throw this in real quick is we have a kind of fire triangle and a fire behavior triangle, and the common theme is that we can manage fuels. So if we manage fuels and we reduce that understory connectivity and we get it back to a more large dominated tree stand with little understory growth and breaking up the continuity of fuels, we can have fires occur in our forests as they naturally once did in a low intensity, and we can still have green forests after the fire comes through. So why is this project needed now? This project really is multi-objective. We do want to reduce wildfire intensity. We want to improve emergency access and evacuation routes. We want to strengthen that buffer zone around our homes in that WUI, in the defensible space. And then we want to restore long-term resilience and forest health to our ecosystems so future generations can enjoy the same forests that we do. We have had recent fires in our area, specifically in this project area. So the risk is there. We have the 2024 pass fire that we now look at the burn scar at the top of the slope there. It was 100% mortality of the trees within that 3-acre fire. And just that 3-acre fire was able to spot a half a mile over the Coyote Moon Golf Course into the Trout Creek drainage, which was impressive to see, but a scary reality that even a small fire with some wind behind it can have long-range spotting capabilities. We also had a recent fire this year in 2026. We call it the Pass Fire 2.0. Same thing, kind of rapid containment, but if you see the trees where that fire scar occurred or that fire occurred, all those trees are dead now. And that they're dead because they took a lot of heat. There was a lot of energy in the forest, and this project is intended to reduce that likelihood of having fires and seeing tree mortality. So in less than 2 years, we've had 2 fire starts in this area, and we want to address that hazard. You may have seen some of the Phase 1 work that was accomplished last year, so this Phase 2 project builds off of those successes. Phase 1 was completed in December 2025. It was 75 acres, and it's a lot of that work around Sierra College and the sledding hill in downtown there off of Donner Pass Road. This Phase 2 will begin in September. It's a bigger project, 269 acres, kind of bringing that treatment all the way to the community and addressing a hillside that has a lot of potential to have high severity fire. This is an ongoing effort, not just a one-off project, so we love to build off of our previous successes and continue to work in the core of our communities to achieve wildfire resiliency. Here's the project map. It goes from Northwoods Boulevard on the west all the way to Trout Creek to the east, 269 acres. Very visual project, as you all can see. Pretty much everybody in town is going to be seeing this work occur. And the orange area that is shaded is the project area. And this is what will be treated through our efforts here in Phase 2. Additionally, we are partnering with the town of Truckee in the Meadow Lake neighborhood. So Rocky Lane, Meadow Way, these roads in here to the southwest of the project. We're partnering with the town of Truckee to do some right-of-way vegetation clearance and removal. If you drive around that neighborhood, you'll see some orange flags on trees that are slated for removal, and that'll happen kind of concurrently with this larger project area. And again, that's meant to improve access and defensible space. The purpose of this project really is to protect our homes, forests, and community. The goal is to thin the overgrown trees and reduce the heavy fuels so that fires stay small and don't turn into a disaster. This is a fuel reduction and forest resiliency project. It includes individual tree selection harvest focused on creating an open park-like pine-dominated conifer stand. We leave well-spaced, the healthiest trees, and limited surface and ladder fuels when we are done. So the work will include manual and mechanical thinning of trees, small and large, removal of unhealthy, poorly formed, or diseased trees, modifying, reducing brush and surface fuels through mastication and chipping. We're going to clear the past fire burn scar that has dead standing trees in it, and it is restocked with naturally regenerating conifers, so we want to make space for those new trees to come up healthy. And then there is some sanitation thinning of a heavy infestation of dwarf mistletoe in the pines adjacent to Coyote Moon, try to reduce that disease, which is impacting the tree health as well. The post-treatment conditions that we desire are good tree crown separation, reduced ladder fuels, increased individual tree vigor, healthy fire-adapted species composition, reduced disease infestation. We want to get back to a natural density of about 75 to 100 square feet of basal area per acre and reduce roughly 50% of the brush on site. Again, the goal is kind of a more open structured forest that's easier to defend during a wildfire and better able to withstand all types of disturbances that our forests experience. When the project's complete, it will serve as a strategic fuel break, connecting treatments across the Central Truckee landscape, reducing community risk, improving forest health, and really showcases what proactive, well-designed forest management can look like in a wild and urban interface setting. This project is a high priority project in our Truckee Community Wildfire Protection Plan. If you're not familiar with the CWPP, it is our strategic roadmap for reducing wildfire risk across the community. And this Phase 2 project is an expression of those priorities. So it has been identified as a priority project in our Community Wildfire Protection Plan. As part of that CWPP, we recognize that fuels reduction and forest management is the single most impactful action to reduce community fire risk. And when we coordinate with partners like the hospital district, the town of Truckee, and the PUD, we can make our funds go further and get more work done together. This project is permitted through the state of California, through CAL FIRE, and the Board of Forestry and Fire Protection. It is permitted under a California Timber Harvest Plan Forest Resilience Exemption. So this exemption is a streamlined permitting pathway that create specifically for these types of fuel reduction and in high hazard fire zones, which we are in. It is a purposely designed process to move these projects forward as it recognizes that fuel reduction is important. It's a public safety measure that benefits the entire community, and it does require sort of a faster pathway to implementation. it does not reduce environmental protections. In California, we have some of the strictest environmental laws in the world. The exemption specifically is designed to eliminate vertical continuity of vegetative fuels, reduce horizontal continuity of tree crowns, and is explicitly designed to reduce fire spread duration and intensity. We have 1 year to implement this project under this permit, and again, it is enforced and overseen by the state department, CAL FIRE, which is the Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. So there are multiple levels of regulation overseeing the implementation of this project. Really, every tree removed is removed to protect homes, lives, and forest health. A lot of effort goes into this. I've been working on this project for the better part of a year, and so every acre treated really reflects months of very careful and thoughtful field work, technical analysis, and coordination. We do a full site assessment, understand what's there, what's the density, what's the health of the trees, what is the fuel loading. We map that area out. We GPS all types of water courses, roads, sensitive resources, stuff like that. And then we design the silvicultural prescription to choose which trees are removed. And a lot of those trees are marked by me personally. And then we go through this environmental review that was described through the environmental or the forest resilience exemption permit, and follow all of the applicable laws and regulations, both state and federal. So what to expect? We're planning on beginning operations in September of this year. Work will be visible from pretty much everywhere in downtown Truckee. Again, this is a selective tree removal project, and as part of the tree removal project, we're also reducing fuels and managing slash and other things on site. So dead and down trees, limbs, other things. We really want a park-like finish when we're done and as clean of a product as we can possibly get. The contractor is a reputable contractor in the state, Mountain F Enterprises. They're a licensed timber operator A with lots of experience in this type of work. And by the end, when we're done, we should have a healthier forest, measurably reduced risk, safer evacuation routes, and a forest that can withstand wildfire or other disturbances. I wanted to show this video real quick because most people don't always know what commercial projects look like. And this was a recent project, and we're talking manual and mechanized operations. And so this video is showing what this work looks like. Hopefully it comes through clean, but this is a feller buncher. So this is a piece of equipment that is used to fall both big trees, like you're seeing there, and thin out larger trees, and also thin, smaller trees and regeneration that's acting as ladder fuels. So this type of equipment will be working in the forests behind Truckee, thinning both small and large trees. These are specialized pieces of equipment designed for this type of work. This is a skidder. So once the trees are cut, they're either skid or forwarded to a landing site to be processed and shipped. And so we have to drag those trees or load them into a truck and drive them over to the landing site, at which point a harvesting head and processing head processes the logs, delimbs them, and cuts them into usable lengths. So you're seeing here the operator limbing and bucking logs into 32-foot logs or 16.5-foot logs to be sold to the mill. Some of these logs may also be chipped and sent to a biomass facility. We want to utilize as much of the material as possible and remove the biomass from the project area. And so you're seeing this processor sort the logs in the slash. This is the product at the end. There you have a log deck with merchantable logs. You have a slash deck that needs to be taken care of. The logs get loaded, sent to the mill, or loaded into chip vans and sent to the biomass facilities. And then the final phase is really the cleanup phase, where we bring masticators in and clean up the surface fuels and mulch that material into the soil, reducing that slash component. And when we're done, we want a nice clean park-like finish that's going to recover well. And ultimately, this is the style of work that people will see on the hillside. How does this work look when we're done? You tell me what looks better here and more safe. These are before and after photos of projects that have been completed in Truckee through our efforts. So these are commercial projects that have been completed in the last year. You can see the conditions on the left, and this is the same picture in the same spot on the right. Here's another picture with the Glenshire project that we recently did, showing the level of brush reduction that we're trying to achieve in some areas and that reduction in density. Here's the Phase 1 project that occurred on the hospital district property, and a pretty nice looking forest on the right. Once we are done, park-like finish, well-spaced, healthy trees, and you can obviously see through the forest a little bit more, which is how it's supposed to look. Here's another picture from Sierra College and the project that we just completed last year. Again, reducing that vertical and horizontal continuity and creating healthier ecosystems that can withstand future disturbances. That concludes the presentation side on my end. Tonight, this is your opportunity to ask questions and give some feedback. We do want to hear from you. Your feedback is essential to our process. You can stay informed with project updates, documents, and other information at truckeefire.org/projects. We'll keep that website updated regularly as we continue or start operations and continue into the fall. What can you do? Get involved, right? Forest management is just one piece of community wildfire resilience. We all have a role to play, and defensible space matters. We can do all this work around the community and implement these fuel breaks and reduce density, reduce fire intensity. But if we don't have good defensible space coupled up with that, we're going to continue to struggle to defend our communities. So get a free evaluation from Truckee Fire and be part of the solution and get that good defensible space done. And as always, contact us. We're here. You can reach out with questions at any time, not just tonight. Eric and I, our emails are on the website. You can get in touch with us at any time. With that, I'll open up for questions and answers from the public. I don't know if we have anything in the chat box that's been going through, but yeah, happy to let you guys go ahead and ask questions.
Dillon, is the recording going to be made available?
Yeah, we'll post it on the project's webpage.
Great. And Eric put that link into the chat, Don.
You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. You probably have to raise your hand in order for us to unmute you and allow you to ask any questions that you may have. I wonder if I can bulk unmute people. I'm unmuting everybody. Okay, go ahead. Oink Moo. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, fantastic presentation. Really appreciated all of the detail and the context in that. I have a question. If we went back to that map, I thought you said that the work was being done in, I guess what I would call I think what you said was the orange area, but there was also this great big, see that little teeny orange area there? Is that what we're talking about? compared to the great big, I guess, brown area?
So what we're looking at here is the entire project area. So I'm a little colorblind. We can call it brown if that's the color that is popping for people. This yellowish orange color here adjacent to the Coyote Moon's first fairway is that area where we have a heavy infestation of dwarf mistletoe infecting the pines. And we're seeing some forest health issues with that. And then this red polygon is the burn scar area, but it's everything in this shaded color outlined by black.
Okay, that's fantastic. That is a big project. What are the areas that are hashed black?
Yeah, so with this permit, we can't, so this project's a bit complicated because of the steep slopes. And I can't operate on slopes greater than 50%. So what you're seeing in the hashed areas are areas that are over that 50% mark and will need hand work only. And so the cross hashed and the simple hash are demarking handwork areas for the contractor. The rest of the area should be treated mechanically as shown in the video.
Is the contractor going to cover those hash black areas with personnel with handwork?
Yeah, it would be hand crews with chainsaws and track chippers.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's really a great map, and what a great area to cover. So fantastic. Thank you for explaining that and developing all those materials. Very helpful.
Thanks for your support, Barney. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dillon.
Yes.
Okay. This is Jim Gannon. Valley Road. There's a orange triangle at the end of it. Yeah. I guess that's a landing site or a new landing site.
Yeah, so the black triangles are existing clearings that we'll use as landings, and the red triangles are showing areas where we're proposing new landings. This area is complicated. I can't necessarily, there's like a slope break right above the water tank that I can't necessarily side slope with equipment, so everything's got to come straight down the hill. Where the triangle is actually a pocket of about 5 or 6 pretty large dead trees that need to be cleared out anyways. Okay. And so when we're proposing new landings, we're always trying to find those spots where it's going to be a minimal tree removal if possible. And that's one of these cases where these dead trees got to go anyways. We got to build a little bit of a road up there to get there, but while it says new landing, it's not necessarily a half-acre clearing. It's pretty much already there.
So the amount, would there be an impact on the road to anybody on that road, or just some increased equipment? That's it, huh?
That's a good question, Jim. There will be some impacts from the hauling side of things.
Yeah.
So the haul routes have been selected, and the main haul route, I wonder if it's zooming in on you guys too. Okay, it is. The main landing for this area is an existing clearing off of Meadow Way. The main haul route is going to be Meadow Way to Donner Pass Road. So you will have some log trucks that are driving down Meadow Way and getting to Donner Pass Road and either going east or west from there. Right. Once we get up above Northwoods here, we can't bring it down into town. It's got to go up and around Alder Creek there. But yes, there will be some impacts with the community with the haul route. Operations are planned to be, especially near the community, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. So we'll do our best to mitigate any kind of early morning noise or hauling impacts near the community. But yes, you will see trucks accessing those roads.
And weekends?
No work on weekends, no.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Hey, Dillon, this is Lauren Van Loon. Question about work around trails, specifically like hiking and mountain biking trails. I know there's a lot of signs up around town then they've been up for a while that says the work's being done, but when the work's not being done, people are using those trails. I'm just curious if they're going to mark those trails like at the trailhead when they're actually working so people know? Because I think people are kind of ignoring the signs.
Yeah, that's a good question, Lauren. So a couple pieces there. Yes, the active work areas will be signed, and there will be a foreman on site acting as a spotter to kind of control access. I want people to keep in mind here that as part of these projects, I end up representing the private landowner, and I do have to act in their best interest. And this area is solidly private land, and there really isn't much public access allowed. I know that there's some trails in the area, and we're not going to go out of our way to destroy trails, but at the request of the landowners, they don't necessarily want the trails there, and so I'm not going to go through extra caution to protect them. They will be impacted by operations in some ways. And then we will restrict public access and keep people out of the area as we're operating, because it is an unsafe place for people to be. There aren't a ton of trails in this area again, and the private landowners would prefer that type of access does not occur in the future.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hi, this is Charles. Thank you for the presentation. Very good stuff. A couple questions. One, you said the permit's good for a year and you're starting in September. How long do you expect it to take?
Great question. It's hard to know until the operator starts working and we can get a sense for their production rates. I would anticipate at a minimum 3 acres a day. And so I would anticipate 3 months of project operations. So starting in September, going into probably late November. If we get some snow and the ground freezes up, we can still operate. Obviously, if we get feet of snow, we can't. So if we get an early winter this year, we would just restart operations in the spring. But my goal is to try to get this project done this fall. Of course, that's weather dependent and dependent on how fast the contractor can move. We do pride ourselves on a higher level of finish work and a good, clean product when we're done, and that typically slows contractors down as we make them, go the extra mile to make it look as good as possible, especially in this scenario. So I would anticipate 3 to 4 months of operations. I would hope that we're completely done by the project no later than June 30th of 2027.
Okay, great. You mentioned that commercial wood is going to be taken to a mill. Do you know where?
That's still being set up, but we have pretty limited outlets. So it's either going to go to Quincy, the SPI mill in Quincy, or the SPI mill in Lincoln on the other side near Sacramento. Wood chips will likely go to Honeyleaf Power outside of Susanville or Honey Lake, and then also Rio Bravo.
Thanks.
Well, any other questions in the group here? Excellent. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody's time, and please share this information with your friends and neighbors. We want as many people as possible to be aware of this project. We will have probably a mid-implementation meeting as well to share information as people start seeing the work done. I'm sure there will be concerns and questions, so please send them our way. And thank you for your time tonight.